Okay, I did not see this coming. First, Justin Bieber, yes, that Justin has been caught in what looks like a very secret relationship with none other than Eddie Benjamin, and let's just say, Hailey's reaction? Not exactly the picture of wedded bliss. But hold on, because just when the internet was still catching its breath, Justin goes and drops an album bombshell so wild that both Hailey and Selena were left absolutely speechless. What did he say? And why are fans convinced these two stories might actually be connected? Buckle up, this is about to get messy. Alright, pop culture fam, we need to talk, because something is happening in Bieberland, and it is not your average paparazzi caught them at dinner situation. This is on a whole different level. I'm talking whispers in backrooms, untagged photos, sudden unfollows, and a trail of cryptic Instagram stories that have the fandom split straight down the middle. And it all starts with one name, no, not Hailey, not Selena, Eddie Benjamin. Yes, Eddie Benjamin. The insanely talented Aussie singer-songwriter who has been quietly making waves in the industry and apparently making some kind of connection with Justin that people close to them are calling a little too friendly for just a casual collab. And before you say it, no, this isn't some random TikTok rumor from a faceless account. There are receipts. Sort of. The kind that make you lean closer to your phone and go, wait, is that what I think it is? But we're not even halfway into the drama yet, because just as the internet starts freaking out over that, Justin decides to do the one thing guaranteed to make this situation explode. He drops a massive teaser about his next album. And when I say massive, I mean cryptic Instagram post, mysterious countdown clock, single sentence caption that has already launched 1,000 conspiracy threads. And somehow, this bombshell connects right back to both Hailey and Selena. I know. Buckle up. And that's the thing, neither of them has commented publicly. Not a single word. No sly likes on shady tweets, no cryptic quotes and stories, nothing. Which, in celebrity land, is often louder than a full-on statement. Because silence makes people wonder what's really going on behind closed doors. And if you've been around pop culture long enough, you know that when silence stretches this long, it usually means the story is still unfolding. There's more to come. Which brings us back to the question nobody can answer yet. How much of this is personal, and how much is pure publicity? Is Justin just stirring the pot to get us hyped for the album, or is there actually some real-life tension spilling into the music? And if there is, how much is Hailey willing to put up with before she says something? How much is Selena willing to let slide before she drops her own truth? I mean, picture it. Justin drops an album that has not one, but 2 tracks people think are about Eddie. The lyrics are vague enough to keep you guessing, but pointed enough that you know he's not just talking about some guy. Then halfway through the album, bam, there's a song that sounds like it's been pulled straight out of a 2014 Selena diary. And every time you think you've got the storyline figured out, he drops another interview, another behind-the-scenes clip, another hint that you missed the first time. It's not just music. It's chess. And right now, the king is making moves nobody saw coming. So here we are. 2 stories. One about a secret relationship, if you can call it that, between Justin and Eddie that has Hailey allegedly side-eyeing every interaction. And another about an album reveal so loaded with potential subtext that it's got Selena stans combing through every note for hidden meaning. Because no matter where you land, whether you think the Eddie thing is overblown, or you're convinced it's the key to everything, you can't deny that the energy around this moment feels different. Like we're watching the first act of a drama that's going to have a very, very interesting finale. So stay with me. Because the photos you haven't seen yet, the insider quotes that haven't hit the blogs yet, and the fan theories so convincing they make you question reality, yeah, they're coming. And when they do, this story might not just be about celebrity gossip anymore. It might be about what happens when personal lives, public images, and artistic truth collide in the messiest way possible. And if you think the internet's loud now, just wait until the album drops. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. If you've ever found yourself spiraling down the internet rabbit hole at 2 a.m., hunting for the truth behind Hollywood's most suspiciously close friendships. Then grab a snack, because this one's about to be your new obsession. Picture this, it's Coachella. The desert heat is melting the makeup off even the most Instagram-perfect influencers. The bass from the main stage is rattling water bottles in VIP lounges and over in a corner of the artist area. Justin Bieber is looking like a man who has just discovered a new favorite song, except that song has a name, plays the guitar, and answers to Eddie Benjamin. Yes, that Eddie Benjamin. The same guy who's been showing up next to Justin in candid shots that look way too comfortable to be just friends photos. The same guy who was spotted shoulder to shoulder with the Biebs at the festival while Hailey Bieber was giving him the kind of side-eye you could slice bread with. Now, we're not here to say Justin has a secret boyfriend. That's just the internet doing what the internet does. But the whispers are getting louder, and if you think we're not going to dig into this, you clearly don't know us. Let's rewind. Eddie Benjamin isn't some random festival buddy Justin just happened to vibe with over a weekend. He's not a clout-chasing hanger-on, either. He's a legit musician, the kind who can walk into a room full of industry heavyweights and somehow be the guy they all lean toward when a song is stuck in production purgatory. Eddie's from Sydney, Australia, raised in what might as well have been a recording studio disguised as a home. His mom's a dancer, his dad's a touring drummer, so the beat was basically in his blood before he even learned to walk. By 14, while other kids were learning algebra and pretending to care about it, Eddie was sneaking into Sydney clubs as a freelance musician, guitar in hand, ready to play sets that left even seasoned session players blinking like, wait, who is this kid? By his mid-teens, he'd formed a band, the Hayes Trio, with classmates, blending jazz, pop, and funk like they'd been doing it for decades. And here's where things start getting eyebrow-raising. Somewhere along the way, Eddie ended up living with Sia. Yes, that's Sia. The reclusive, wig-wearing pop genius. Nobody's entirely sure how that arrangement came to be. Mentorship? Mutual creative spark? Sheer cosmic weirdness. But people definitely had questions. After all, she's decades older, wildly successful, and notoriously private, so the fact she let Eddie into her personal space speaks volumes about how talented she thought he was. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because the real fireworks didn't start until 2022, when Eddie and Justin crossed paths. The story goes that Justin was scouting openers for his Justice tour. Someone must have slid Eddie's tracks his way, and just like that, this Aussie newcomer was booked as an opening act. You know how some people meet and there's an instant click that's almost unsettling to watch? That was Justin and Eddie. Backstage footage shows them talking, laughing, and yes, sometimes touching in that casual but not casual way that makes fans hit pause and rewind like, wait, what was that? And then came Coachella. Picture Justin in oversized sunglasses and an even bigger grin, standing so close to Eddie they might as well have shared a shadow, while Hailey's smile in the background looked like it was carved out of sheer willpower. Internet sleuths were quick to point out moments when Justin's attention seemed locked entirely on Eddie, hands brushing, private jokes exchanged, and, depending on who you ask, energy that could power an entire gossip blog for months. And here's the thing. This isn't just about appearances. Eddie isn't simply Justin's friend in the shallow celebrity sense. He's been a genuine creative force in Justin's recent music. Industry insiders say Eddie's fingerprints are all over tracks from the last album, helping with arrangements, harmonies, and that elusive feel that can make or break a hit. Justin has even publicly gushed about Eddie's ears, which, for non-musicians, is basically code for saying his musical instincts are next level. The way Justin talks about him, admiring, almost reverent, has only fueled the fandom theories. It's not that people think they're secretly dating. Well, okay, some people absolutely think that. It's that Justin seems lit up in a way fans haven't seen in years, and Eddie's right there at the center of it. Now, about that jealousy angle. Hailey Bieber is no stranger to being scrutinized for her marriage. Every glance, every body language expert's TikTok breakdown gets picked apart by millions. But Coachella 2023 was a rare public moment when even casual observers noticed something felt off. Paparazzi photos showed her at arm's length, not just physically but emotionally, while Justin and Eddie seemed locked in their own bubble. And whether you buy into the love triangle narrative or not, it's undeniable that the optics were messy. That's the thing with celebrity gossip. Perception often matters as much as reality, and in this case, the perception was that Eddie might just be the most important person in Justin's orbit right now. But the plot thickens, because Eddie isn't just charming festival goers and making Hailey's Instagram captions look a little tenser than usual. He's quietly embedding himself in some of the industry's most elite circles. His collaborations list already reads like a who's who of pop royalty. Meghan Trainor, Earth, Wind and Fire, Shawn Mendes. The guy is everywhere and nowhere all at once, showing up at high-profile events just enough to be recognized, but never overexposed. It's a delicate balance, and it's making people wonder if Eddie's playing a long game, building influence through genuine friendships rather than flashy self-promotion. And then, as if pulled straight from a future star cliché, Eddie crossed paths with Sia. It's still not entirely public knowledge how they met, but those in the know say it was a mutual friend in the Australian music scene who made the intro. Sia saw something in Eddie, not just technical skill, but an emotional depth in his playing and writing that most musicians twice his age couldn't tap into. Soon after, Eddie was living in her Los Angeles home, a move that sent plenty of raised eyebrows skyward. He got to see the business from the inside, without the glare of being the main act. And that, more than anything, might be why he's been so effective in his later collaborations. Flash forward to 2022, and Eddie's name lands on Justin Bieber's radar. At this point, Justin was looking for fresh energy for the Justice Tour, someone talented, yes, but also someone he could vibe with personally. Eddie ticked both boxes. According to crew members, the two met during an informal jam session that turned into hours of playing, laughing, and swapping stories. By the time Eddie was officially announced as an opener, the chemistry was undeniable. Backstage, they were inseparable. Fans noticed the way Justin lit up when Eddie was around, even during the grueling pace of touring. Whether it was lounging in hoodies between sets or huddling together in conversations no one else could hear, there was a visible bond forming. Which brings us to Coachella 2023, a weekend that will likely live in fandom lore for years. The sun was high, the beer was overpriced, and Justin Bieber was making the kind of public displays of affection you'd usually reserve for your spouse. Except Hailey was on the sidelines, and the focus of his hands, his hugs, and his attention seemed to be squarely on Eddie. Eyewitnesses swear they saw Justin leaning in, touching Eddie's shoulders, pulling him close during performances. Videos circulated online, slowed down, zoomed in, dissected like they were the Zapruder film. Fans created side-by-side comparisons of Justin's interactions with Eddie versus Hailey during the same day, and the difference was, well, noticeable. Hailey, for her part, kept her game face on, smiling for cameras, but more than one body language breakdown on TikTok suggested her patience was wearing thin. It wasn't just about the physical closeness. There's a certain electricity between two people when they're locked into each other's energy, and Coachella made it clear that Justin and Eddie were operating on their own wavelength. It was in the way Justin laughed, head thrown back, unguarded. In moments with Eddie, a side of him fans said they hadn't seen in a while. And in the celebrity gossip ecosystem, those little flashes are everything. They become the seeds of theories, the proof in fan threads, the talking points on podcasts that thrive on "Did you see that?" Meanwhile, Eddie's influence in the music industry was quietly intensifying. He wasn't just playing guitar and smiling in the background. He was writing, arranging, and shaping songs for some of the biggest names out there. Sources close to Justin's team say Eddie was instrumental in refining certain tracks on the latest album, particularly in nailing down harmonies and fine-tuning instrumental layers. Justin, ever the open book when it comes to praising those he admires, has publicly raved about Eddie's ears, meaning his ability to hear the subtlest details and know exactly what a track needs to feel complete. That kind of praise, coming from an artist as established as Bieber, is like gold in the industry. But not everyone was clapping. Whispers of Hailey's discomfort started swirling. Some of it came from fans reading into social media patterns, likes that stopped appearing, captions that seemed pointed, appearances without Justin that drew speculation. Others pointed to public events where Hailey seemed unusually distant from Justin, even when Eddie wasn't present, as if something had shifted in the marriage dynamic. Whether or not Eddie was the cause is impossible to confirm, but in the court of public opinion, the optics weren't doing her any favors. And when your marriage is already one of the most dissected relationships in celebrity culture, even a hint of outside tension can become a full-blown storyline. Then came the rumors. The secret boyfriend jokes, the fan edits that cut together every lingering glance, every casual touch, every laugh shared between Justin and Eddie. The theories ranged from the absurd to the oddly plausible. Some claimed Eddie was the real muse behind certain tracks. Others suggested he was simply Justin's closest platonic confidant in a world where true friendship is rare. But in gossip, nuance rarely survives. The more the internet talked, the more the narrative took on a life of its own. Eddie, for his part, seemed unfazed. He maintained his low-key public persona, showing up to events, posting the occasional artsy Instagram shot, and otherwise letting the chatter swirl without feeding it. And that might just be his superpower, remaining just enigmatic enough to keep people guessing, while being present enough to remind everyone he's still in the game. If this is part of a long-term career strategy, it's a brilliant one. Let the speculation keep your name hot while your actual work cements your credibility behind the scenes. Which leads us to the big question, what's next? For Justin, Eddie represents a rare mix of friendship, creative synergy, and maybe even a touch of rebellion against the image people expect him to maintain. For Eddie, Justin offers a global platform, industry respect, and access to the kinds of opportunities most artists only dream of. And for Hailey? Well, if the whispers are true, she's navigating a marriage where the third wheel isn't another woman. It's a guy with a guitar, a killer set of ears, and an uncanny ability to command Justin's attention. So, will this triangle, real or imagined, keep fueling the Hollywood rumor mill? Almost certainly. And in a town where perception often becomes reality, the Justin-Eddie dynamic might just be one of the most fascinating relationships to watch in 2024 and beyond. One thing's for sure. Whether they're collaborators, best friends, or something the internet hasn't quite labeled yet, their bond has already rewritten the rules for how close two male artists can be in the public eye without making an official statement. And maybe that's the real tea, not whether Hailey's jealous, but whether we're watching the rise of a creative duo that could change pop music in ways we haven't even realized yet. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this all just fandom overanalysis, or is there more to the story than anyone's admitting? Drop your thoughts, theories, and hot takes, because this is one Hollywood plotline we'll all be following for a long time. In another news, you ever have one of those moments where your phone buzzes, you open Instagram, and suddenly you're in the middle of a celebrity fever dream you didn't even sign up for? That's exactly what happened when Justin Bieber decided to flip the entire internet upside down. Not with a scandal, not with a paparazzi brawl, but with a mysterious word plastered on a billboard: swag. 3 letters, 1 syllable, a throwback to his early 2010s era, and somehow, in the blink of an eye, it sent fans into a full spiral. I mean, tell me why my group chat went from "did you see that outfit" to "we're getting an album, I can feel it" in under 15 seconds. And it wasn't just any billboard, oh no. This thing was paired with a fire black and white photo shoot featuring Jack, Hailey, and Justin looking like they just stepped out of a Calvin Klein fever dream. And then, like a plot twist in a Netflix docuseries, we find out this wasn't just a single. This wasn't even a casual EP drop. We're talking 20 brand new tracks. And you know what? I wasn't ready. You weren't ready. Nobody was ready. The spam posting era, the billboard mystery, Hailey's digital grenade, from chaos to clarity, and the return of Bizzle energy, each ending with a mini cliffhanger to keep readers scrolling, blending detailed recounting of events, fandom reactions, pop culture references, and dramatic yet humorous commentary, plus SEO-friendly mentions of Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, swag album, fan theories, and music marketing. Leading into a powerful, rallying call to action at the end, urging readers to drop their theories, share their excitement, and declare their era allegiance. You ever have one of those moments where you're minding your business, sipping your coffee, and your phone pings, and suddenly, without warning, you're sucked into a celebrity whirlwind so chaotic that you can't decide if you should be concerned or start making popcorn? Yeah, that was the collective internet on the day Justin Bieber decided to flip the script on us all. No scandal, no cryptic Finsta leaks, no messy late-night paparazzi altercation. Just a billboard. A billboard with one word: swag. 3 letters, 1 syllable, a throwback to his 2010s lexicon that felt so absurdly on brand that we almost didn't believe it was real. And then came the kicker: it wasn't just the word. It was the image. Black and white. Edgy. Bieber in the middle, Jack on one side, Hailey on the other, all looking like they'd just walked out of a Calvin Klein fever dream. You know, the kind of photo that practically hums with "I know something you don't know" energy? Yeah, that. At first, the timeline thought this was some vague fashion campaign. Maybe a collab drop. Maybe Justin trolling the word swag back into Gen Z slang. Nobody in their right mind guessed the truth, that this was the prelude to a 20-track full-length album. 20 songs. In an era when artists barely give us 8 and call it a day, Bieber just casually decided to double it and toss in 2 more for good measure. My group chat went feral. Half of us were making playlists in advance. The other half were frantically Googling Justin Bieber swag album release date, like it was going to magically appear if we hit refresh enough times. But before the billboard, before the full album bombshell, there was the spam. You know what I'm talking about. The stretch of weeks where Justin's Instagram became this unfiltered stream of consciousness, post after post, some stunningly aesthetic, some deeply random, all leaving the rest of us wondering if we should be worried or impressed. At first, it looked like normal celeb behavior. Some studio shots here, a moody selfie there. But then the frequency ramped up, and up, and up, until suddenly, it wasn't 1 post a day, it was 5, then 8, then 12. A full grid wipe in reverse. Fans started DMing each other like, is this an album rollout or a midlife crisis? And here's where the theories started to split. Camp 1 said, this is calculated. Every post is part of a puzzle, leading to something big. Camp 2 was convinced he was pulling a Kanye, going rogue, posting whatever came to mind without a team filter. And then there were the trolls, those lurking in the comments section with, bro, blink twice if you're okay. But while the internet was busy psychoanalyzing his posting habits, Justin was quietly cooking. Looking back now, you can see the breadcrumbs. A studio mic in the corner of one photo. A fleeting clip of him bobbing his head to something unreleased in the background of another. But because each post was so visually different, black and white 1 minute, sun-drenched vacation vibes the next, it didn't register as a cohesive rollout. Which, if you think about it, was kind of genius. If the goal was to keep eyes glued to his socials without giving away the plot, mission accomplished. Of course, the more he posted, the louder the chatter got. And with chatter comes the dark side of pop culture. The "is he okay?" headlines. You know, the ones speculation dressed up as concern. Which brings us to, if you were anywhere near a phone when this clip dropped, you already know. The grainy sidewalk footage. The back and forth with a paparazzo who just would not back down. And then Justin, with that signature mix of frustration and calm, dropping lines like they were pulled straight from a reality TV confessional. Not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? And when the pap kept pressing, he shut it down harder. No, you don't get to ask me questions. Why not? Because you just don't. Why? Because I'm not your "we're not buddies." Just say that. You're on private property. Then, when the guy insisted they weren't, Justin hit him with, no, 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 we're not on private property. No, 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 no. I'm a father. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a dad. This whole exchange was messy, awkward, and weirdly memeable. People clipped it. They captioned it. They set it to music. But what most didn't clock at the time was that this was the exact tone Hailey would later mirror when she clapped back online. So the Swag album announcement drops. Fans are screaming. Twitter's melting. Spotify's servers are probably sweating. And Hailey? She's not sitting quietly on the sidelines. She jumps onto Instagram stories and posts a single, spicy line. Is it finally clocking to you effing losers? Direct. Sharp. Absolutely no room for misinterpretation. And yes, it was a deliberate callback to Justin's "It's not clocking to you" line from the paparazzi video. This wasn't just shade, it was a precision strike. Some fans cheered. Others clutched pearls. And the ever-present Selena-Hailey Justin discourse machine went into overdrive. The comment sections became split-screen debates. Was this a justified defense of her husband, or another log on the eternal drama fire? Either way, it worked, because everyone was talking about it. That black and white billboard was the first real sign that something bigger was brewing. No release date. No out-now link. Just swag in bold, and that perfectly styled trio shot. In an era where artists usually flood TikTok with dance challenges before dropping anything, Bieber went old-school guerrilla marketing. A physical, unmissable statement in the middle of a city skyline. Fans who saw it in person posted shaky videos with captions like, "What is going on?" and "Someone explain now." And here's the thing, the placement wasn't random. This wasn't slapped on the side of a random highway. These billboards popped up in major pop culture hubs. New York, LA, Toronto. Locations where music media, paparazzi, and die-hard fans overlap. It was like he wanted to bait both the casual passerby and the obsessive stan into the same conversation. And it worked. Within hours, #swag billboard was trending. Once the word album officially dropped, the fandom went full detective mode. Old interviews were dug up. Lyrics from deep cuts were reinterpreted. People pointed to archived IG stories as proof that he'd been hinting for months. And because the internet loves a good web of connections, every single crumb was tied to something else. Was the number of spam posts equal to the number of tracks? Was the black and white aesthetic a callback to Journal's era? Was Jack in the Shoot because of a feature or just vibes? It didn't help that Bieber himself wasn't exactly clearing anything up. No track list. No snippets. Just vibes. Which is basically like waving a steak in front of a pack of hungry dogs. And then there was the wild card factor. We have to address it, because the internet certainly didn't let it go. Every time Bieber breathes, there's someone ready to tie it back to Selena Gomez. The swag era was no different. People combed through Hailey's "effing losers" post for perceived Selena references. Others speculated that certain moody captions in Justin's spam era were about her. The result? A parallel theory economy running alongside the actual album hype. It was messy. It was exhausting. And yet, it kept the conversation going. Free promo, whether intended or not. Longtime fans will remember the Bizzle phase, Bieber's edgier, more street-inspired alter ego. The swag aesthetic, the black and white shoot, the confident bordering on cocky rollout? Yeah, Bizzle's fingerprints are all over it. This wasn't the clean-cut, yummy era. This was a return to swagger, to unapologetic energy. And for a lot of fans, that was exactly what they'd been missing. Once the word was out, the machine kicked in. Radio stations teased exclusives. Music blogs dissected the one-sentence press release. Merch started appearing online with the swag font. Fans started planning listening parties. The chaos of the spam posting era suddenly made sense. It had been a long con, a slow-burn hype campaign disguised as randomness. Looking back, the whole thing feels like a masterclass in controlled chaos. Bieber flooded his own channels, created just enough confusion to keep everyone guessing, then dropped a massive, unexpected announcement with zero lead time. In a world where rollouts are often over-engineered to the point of boredom, he made it feel spontaneous. And yes, some of it was messy. Yes, it stirred up drama. But it also reminded everyone, love him or hate him, that when Justin Bieber moves, the culture moves with him. In the end, standing on business wasn't just a throwaway line to a paparazzo. It was the thesis of the whole era. He didn't spoon-feed us a clean, glossy marketing campaign. He dropped clues, he stirred the pot, he defended his boundaries, and then he delivered 20 tracks, a whole new era, and enough internet chaos to keep the memes coming for months. Hailey's clapback? Part of the energy. The billboard? A flex. The spam posting? A smokescreen. The man knew exactly what he was doing. So yeah, it's clocking now. And if it's not? Well, prepare to be sick of him, because the swag era is just getting started.